if that helps you. Maybe there's a chair you'd rather be in, or just right on the floor. We'll be here for a couple of minutes of centering breath. Oh, you guys make me happy. Thanks for making time. So root down, find the sitting bones underneath you. Rock around a little bit until you really feel yourself planted here and arrive here, right? There's a lot going on in the world around us. You've probably been busy this morning doing the things. So just invite yourself here to the mat. Just come onto your mat. And you'll probably notice a mind that wants to be everywhere else. And that's okay. Let that be happening, but let your body be on this mat. Maybe feel a little bit of a lift in your belly. So the navel coming into the spine and just the seat, we say, of dignity. Take a good solid seat here. Your chest lifts a little. Maybe tuck your chin and just feel the length of your spine as you take deep breaths. If there's a little tension in your neck, maybe move that around a little bit until you find a long, comfortable way to hold your head. Bring one of your hands to your heart and the other to your belly so that you can feel breath coming all the way down into your belly. A full diaphragmatic breath. And so now here you are, body sitting on a mat, breathing. Maybe a mind still busy doing other things, but your body and your breath are here now. I want to start us off with this quote. Maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you, so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. Maybe we didn't show up on our mats this morning to become more fill in the blank. We are not stress. We are not tension and anxiety. We are not worry and fear. So who are we? Underneath all of that, who's here? Who were you before they gave you a name? The name that meant something. Who were you before they told you, boy, girl, and this is how you should act? Who were you before you learned what the oldest child or the youngest child was supposed to be like? Who were you before you discovered that where you were born or what you look like should be a certain way? Let's honor that today. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, this gesture of gratitude. And just bow your head a little, acknowledging that true self that's here under the layers. And we'll start to peel some of those layers off today, just like taking off heavy clothes. So start by slowly reaching your hands up in the air. Look up and stretch your fingers as high as you can. Open your fingers wide and then just start to lean a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Start to feel your side body lengthening here. Make that bigger, dropping one hand to the ground and the other arm stretching over. Feeling some space in the rib cage, the waist, back and forth. feeling any tightness, any place where your body's restricted. Let's move into that. Take both of your arms up, interlace your fingers, press the palms to the ceiling, and make your whole body lift. Whole body lift. Arms back a little bit. Notice what's happening in the front and the back of your body. Take a deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. Palms turn down, fingers lower to the earth. Bring your hands behind you. Come onto fingertips and let your chest expand. Take some deep breaths here that you can feel rolling through the front of your chest, your rib cage, your sternum. A breath that makes you bigger. You're going to take up a little more space today. Bring your hands to your knees and pull back, shoulder blades open, and really exaggerate this first back stretch. Chin to chest, shoulder blades open. See if you can feel breath in your bottom ribs. And as you return to that tall, neutral spine, twist to your right side. Take one hand to the knee and just open up through your chest and shoulders. Breathe here. Look back. And switch, opposite side. Just getting the spine ready for movement in these 6 directions. And as you come back to center, let's bring our knees around and find a tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders. And on the inhale, lift into cow. Maybe just start with a little gentler version of this, and then cat. So as you start to move your spine in these 2 directions, see if maybe you can point with one finger to where you feel this action the most. Maybe there's one vertebra that's speaking a little more loudly than the others. And then exhale, allowing your hips to press back into child's pose. Take your knees wide. Stretch your arms long on your mat and just come into this position of rest. For most people, it's a position of rest. And then walk your fingers to one side of your mat and your hips over to the other. So maybe your hands are going to the right, your hips to the left. You can stack one hand on top of the other and just pull your hips back and away. Deep breath here. And then switch sides. Good. You guys go ahead and come back to the center. Spread your fingers wide and come into downward facing dog. Start to pedal your heels left and right. Move through your hips. Good. Everybody raise your right leg up in the air, bend your knee and open that hip. Like you're trying to bring your toes to touch the back of your head someday. Maybe not today. Just open through your hip. Peel back a layer of tension, of stress, of tightness. And then switch sides. Left leg comes up high, open up through the hip. Pivot your hips to the left. Maybe even look under your left armpit. And return to center. Take a look forward and slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. The knees will be soft, fingers touch elbows. Come down into ragdoll. Feel yourself putting weight in one foot and then the other. Just rocking a little bit from side to side. And then press to a half lift. Abs in nice and tight. Scoop your arms all the way up. Extended mountain, maybe even a little back bend. Feel the thumbs reaching back, heart lifting up. So opposite of how we've been sitting so much. So just feel your length, feel your space here. Good, you guys. And then just open your arms out to a T. Palms up, feet a little bit wider. And in this expanded position, just start to rotate. So maybe you need to move around to find a little space in your room. Feet are firm, torso turning. You can keep this a little bit slow, but match movement with breath. Inhale on one side and exhale on the other. There might even be a little playfulness here, a little bit of joy, like spinning. Good, and come back to center. Reach your arms all the way up. Toes turn out. Exhale, squat down low. And we'll do a few movements called sunflowers. Exhale as you lower. And we're going to start to force that exhale. Go a little bit faster, a little bit more heat building vigor. Let's do 3 more of those. And on your next inhale, reach high, open up into this 5-pointed star. Let all of your limbs extend away from your torso. Exhale, float your arms down to your sides. Beautiful. Turn your toes so that your feet are squared. If you haven't already, turn to the wide edge of your mat. So you can just take a nice wide stance facing the side. Good, so we're gonna do a little version of a half salutation here, just starting to open up through the hips. We'll take the arms up, inhale. Exhale, soften your knees, hinge from the hips, come down into a wide-legged forward fold. Pause there for a breath or two. Maybe a sigh. On your fingertips, inhale to a half lift. Lengthen through your head. You'll feel your hamstrings here a bit. Exhale, fold forward. Soft knees, inhale, arms reach high. Close your hands in front of your heart. So let's do those movements with breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do it one more time. A half salutation with wide feet. Reach high. Fold forward. Half lift. Breathe in. Forward fold. Breathe out. Scoop the arms high. Breathe in. And draw your hands to your heart. Pause. Breathe. Notice. Body here on the mat with breath. Step your feet together and come back to face the top of your mat. We'll move through a couple of sun salutations. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from the hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in, come into plank pose. You can be on your knees or your toes. Exhale, lower halfway down, elbows close to the body, neck long. And then release, come up to either cobra, or if you prefer, on your feet, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. In this down dog, let's lift up onto our toes and drop back into our heels. Lift up, press down. Big exhales. One more time. Shifting the eyes forward, bring your feet to the top of your mat. Half lift. Forward fold, catch the back of your heels with your hands. Let yourself pull a little deeper. Bend the knees, arms reach high. Come into a little back bend. And draw your hands to your heart. Nice, everyone. Let's go again. Reach high, breathe in. It's a moving meditation. Fold, exhale. Half lift. Down dog. Take that vinyasa, shifting forward, knees or toes. Halfway down, pause, and then rise to either cobra or up dog. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. Let your heart press forward. Good. Exhale, down dog. Roll through your feet. Big breath in. Long breath out. Moving forward, come to the top of your mat. Half lift and a fold. With soft knees, arms reach high, extended mountain. And bring your hands back to your heart. One more time for good measure and good heat. One more sun A. Move with breath. Reach and fold. Lift halfway. Downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Rolling through your feet. Looking forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Half lift. And as you exhale again, catch the back of your heels. Bend your knees if you need to. Sigh. The back of your body lengthen. And press hands to shins, lift halfway, paying attention to your spine. Moving from the hips, rise, extended mountain. And then bring your hands to your heart. We're going to take the feet about hips distance apart and move through a flowing version of chair. So inhale your arms up, back as far as you can. Feel the strength in your back. As you exhale, sink into chair. Let your arms fly behind you. Chest presses forward. Inhale, lift. So really the goal here is to move the shoulders as much as you can in both directions. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach back. Feel the back of your shoulders, the strength. Bringing on Ujjayi breath, that fiery sound of your breath. 2 more times. And then let's stay here in chair pose for a couple of breaths. Arms behind, option to lift up onto your toes, balancing chair. If you're feeling extra brave today, lean forward. Drinking bird. Like you're looking over the edge of something really interesting and a little scary. Lower the heels, scoop the arms up and back. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or to take a vinyasa, your choice. Let's raise the right leg high. And again, we'll bend the knee, open up that hip. Go around through your ankle. Explore opening. Opening. And then shifting back to center, let's draw that foot to the top of the mat. Finding here, low lunge. Let your hip flexor know we're coming. All right, good, everybody. Drop the back heel. Let's lift up into warrior one. Our feet are stable. There's a decent bend in the front knee. Arms lifting, heart lifting. Neck is relaxed. Let's again sweep the arms behind us. Come into those airplane arms. And as we do, let's shift the torso forward over the front leg. Notice your core engaged. Reaching back through those fingers. Let's lift up, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. How far back can you reach? Inhale, arms up one more time. Reach back. And then go ahead and lower your fingertips to the floor. Come back onto your toes. Let's drop the back knee. A little deeper into that hip flexor. Start to shift your weight forward and back here. Hamstring. Hip flexor. Just noticing where the tightness is, where you might need a little more time or a little more breath. And let's settle ourselves forward in this kneeling lunge. Left hand stays down, right arm lifts up into a twist. And try to reach a little higher. Spin your chest to the right a little further. Breathe a little deeper. And release that hand to the mat. Come back to center and tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Your choice to stay here or you're welcome to take a vinyasa. Big breath in, long breath out. And when you're ready, raise the left leg high, bend the knee, open the hip to the left. Wiggle out through your ankle. Let your chest reach toward your right toes a little bit more, your bottom leg. And then extend, come to center, and step forward with your left foot. Nice, everyone. Drop your back heel, rising up, warrior one. See if you can make this shape bigger, taller, more expansive. Back foot presses down and then just reach, arms behind. How high can you lift your pinky fingers, strengthening the back of your shoulders? Let's move with breath. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Core strength, strong legs. We'll go one more time, big breath. Exhale, hands to mat, come onto your back toes, drop the knee. Nice. If you need to roll something up underneath that right knee, that's totally fine. And then just start to move forward and back. Hamstring, hip flexor. As you're moving, close your eyes and feel your body here on this mat with breath. Maybe you've noticed that your mind is running off somewhere else. It's okay, just notice body and breath here. Come forward, right hand down, left arm opens into the twist. Just let the back of your hand press back a little farther, heart lifts a little higher. Think of touching the ceiling with your left hand. Space. Good. Release that hand. Tuck the back toes under and step back again. Downward facing dog. Your choice, stay here or flow through vinyasa. Plank pose down, cobra or up dog. We'll meet here. Looking forward, step or float your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And we've been on our hands a bit, so let's take gorilla pose. Palms up, fingers pointing to your toes, and you can just lift your feet and step your toes on top of your palms. Bend your knees so much that you can get your toes all the way up to the bend of your wrist. And then when you have that bind, lift, lengthen your head out and feel space in your body. Wrist getting a little break. Release your hands. Inhale, half lift. With a bend in the knees, scoop the arms all the way high, extended mountain, come back, open up into that little back bend. Good. And then open your arms again out to the sides of the room, palms up. Turn once again to face the long edge of your mat. Toes turned out to the corners. And come down here and meet me in a pose called sun pose. And this is like you're holding the sun in your arms. So your shoulders roll down onto your back, your chest lifts up. Take a nice deep squat. Option to stay just like this, or pick up your heels and find balance here in sun pose. Abs in nice and tight. Breathe. Breathe. I heard a few of you say, I'm here to get strong for skiing. Well, here you go. This is for ski legs. Yeah. Think a little if you can, and shaking is not a bad thing. Let's relabel shaking. Shaking means muscles getting stronger. Body learning something new. One more deep breath in. Exhale, drop your heels to the mat. Open to warrior two on the right side. Warrior two on the right. Bounce a little bit so that you feel that firm foundation, a stretch in the legs. Gorgeous. You're looking over the right middle knuckle, shoulders relaxed and down. Straighten the right leg and shift into triangle pose. So bring your whole body up over that leg and then tilt the arms. If your neck feels safe here, you can turn to look at your top hand. Extend and expand. If you'd like a little more challenge here or sensation, let your top arm reach over your ear. Extended triangle. Side body stretch. Where's your breath? Who's here now? Good. Put a bend in the knee and sweep your arms the opposite direction. Reverse warrior. come all the way back. Beautiful. Windmill your hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. Stay here or flow. Vinyasa, your choice. Left foot steps forward. Rise up and around into warrior two. Take your time, kind of bouncing into that position, deepening a lunge, and look over your left middle knuckle. Present, focused, calm, and aware here on your mat. Begin to straighten the left leg, shift from your hips, reach forward as far as you can, and then tilt into triangle pose. There's a little bit of a twist, a little bit of an opening, chest reaches forward. You might think of bringing your top ribs back just a little bit. And if your neck is okay, turn to look at your hand. Like you can slide that arm over, extended triangle, long lines, deep breaths. With a bend in the left knee, let's reverse the warrior, come all the way back, the opposite side. Windmill your hands to the earth, downward facing dog. Your choice, stay or flow. And then raise your right leg high. Step your foot through. Low lunge. Reach your arms high, high lunge, and find some balance here. Good. We're going to interlace our hands and press the palms to the ceiling the way we did earlier in the warm-up. So imagine palms touching the ceiling, or Karen, Bill, you're outside the sky. Root down through your feet and see if you can glide your arm bones back just a little. So much room here. So much freedom here. Releasing the palms, fingers stay lifted. Drop your back heel, finding warrior one. Awesome, and then arms reach behind, interlace the fingers, open your chest, humble warrior. We're going to dive down to the inside of the right leg. Breathe deep here. And releasing the hands to the mat. Walk to the wide edge of your mat. Come into a wide straddle. Allow yourself to be here however you like. You can move around or hold still, bend and straighten. See if you can find an exhale with your breath, but also with your whole body. A whole body exhale. And turn toward your left foot. Come on to your back toes and rise up to high lunge. Find your balance. And when you've found that ground, go ahead and interlace your fingers, press your palms high. Feel that space, top to bottom. And then arm bones back just a little. Feel more opening here. Let's turn the palms, release. Drop your back heel, and we'll move into humble warrior. Hands interlaced behind. Let your chest lead the way inside your left leg. Head down, hands up. This is a pose of strong, calm energy. Strength and humility coming together here. Breath. Intentional about being here. And release, fingertips to the floor. Come back to wide straddle. And one more standing pose here. I'd like you to take your feet as wide as you can get them on your mat, keeping your feet flat. So this is your version of the middle splits. And most of us have a lot of space between our hips and the floor. And that's okay. This is more about how your bones are made, how your femur bone plugs into your hip socket. Less about flexibility, but find a place that feels sensational, a little intense, but not painful. If you're close to the ground, you could come to elbows or maybe put your head on something. Just breathe here in this uncomfortable place. And then let's see if we can find some sort of graceful way out of that. Heel toe in. We'll drop one knee to the floor and then the other. And we'll just sweep our legs around, finding ourselves in a seat. Everybody join me in a collective exhale. All right, good. So if you have super tight hamstrings or lower back, you might want to put your hips up on a blanket or a bolster. We're going to take that same position but seated. So seated straddle. And everyone, let's just start with this, what I call this a yes for everyone, is hands behind you. And use your hands to just inch your hips forward to where you feel like you're at your edge. Lift your chest. And for a lot of us, this is a great place to stay. Our spine is tall. I want you to feel like you're on the front of your pelvis. You're on the front of your sitting bones, as opposed to this, tucking and rolling backwards. Okay? So if you need to keep your hands there, do, to keep that forward tilt. If you can let go and your pelvis doesn't tilt back, then put your hands on the floor and walk yourself into a deeper position here. But if that causes you to roll back, you've lost all the structure of the pose. So it's better to be here. Now find your breath. Find your sweet, soft, deep breath. The breath that feels familiar. The breath that feels like coming home. ease yourself back to a tall spine. Slowly close your legs together and give your legs a little shake. Maybe give them a little pound on the floor. And then let's start to make our way down onto our backs. Lower yourself down, hug your knees into your chest. Bend and straighten your legs a few times. Just find some ease right here. And then let's plant our feet on the earth and come up into bridge pose. So your arms can rest here at your sides. Lift your hips up. You can stay here or interlace. Bring your hands under you. You're also welcome to put a block under your hips. Close your eyes and find your breath. Find a breath that pushes out into the front of your chest, the sides of your ribs, the small of your back. Expand your whole torso with this breath. And then release your fingers, let your hips come down to the earth, and slowly draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze here. Go ahead and lift your head. Your forehead comes up towards your knees. Squeeze your belly tighter. Curl yourself into the tightest little ball you can find. And on the inhale, reverse this. Extend out long, fingertips over your head, toes in the opposite direction. Breathe in. Exhale, squeeze tight. Squeeze as tight as you can. Wring it all out. And then inhale to extend, expand, lengthen. We'll do that one more time. Squeeze tight. And then lengthen. Bend your knees once again, and we're going to take the legs up toward the ceiling. So legs up the wall, legs up the couch, legs in the air. And then if you like, because we've been practicing today this opening, this expansion, let your legs open and let gravity invite you into a stretch for the inner thighs. You could flex and point your feet. These adductor muscles, these inner thigh muscles, are pretty tight on most of us. And they can tug and pull on our hips and our low back. You can place your hands on the inside of your calves and just invite yourself into a little deeper stretch. And then draw your legs back together. And place your feet on the floor. We'll move into a twist for our final option or posture today. So arms open out into a T and the knees drop over to the left. You can place the left hand on top of the right knee. Turn your head toward the right. Close your eyes and feel this familiar breath. Body lying here just like this. No effort, just ease. And slowly, with ease, take your knees up and over to the right. same thing, twisting to the other side. If there's a lot of effort here, see if you can let some of that effort go. This pose is leading us into our final resting pose, so let this be the beginning of that. Going inward and coming home. I'd like you to take the next 5 or 6 breaths to transition into Shavasana, to gather any props that you need. Maybe there's one more stretch or movement that your body is looking forward to before rest. Give yourself a moment here to be fully ready for this settling posture. This is the posture we've worked to get into for the whole hour. We've been preparing for this one. What do you need to do in order to fully give yourself over to surrender in Shavasana? With each breath in, just notice breath moving somewhere in your body. And with each breath out, notice something settling or softening. As you continue resting here, I invite you to bring again one hand to your heart or over your chest and another hand to your belly. This mudra, connecting with self. These words by Emily McDowell might speak to you. Finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself, an unlearning, an excavation, a remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. Remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. Bring that part of you to the surface as you wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch and yawn and make room for that remembering. Go ahead and roll to one side and find your way back to a seat. When you get here, bring your hands together in front of your heart. This tall spine, this open heart. Beautiful you. I love so much teaching yoga because I feel like at the end of a class, I see the real you. We come in the busy, doing, important, busy people, and we leave a little softer, a little more peeled back and aware of who's really here to be seen. I want you to know I see you, and I honor that which you are. Namaste.